Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us in this last show of 2023, which is coming to an end. This year that has been awesome. It's 23 years after the year 2000 that people thought that the war was gonna be over on 20 on the Y2K was the big deal, but it's 23 years after that, and we're still here. We're still live. We're still doing good. So, if you are in the United States since the year 2000, or you came to the United States at some point, maybe you qualify for some benefits. And what we want to let you know is that we have an attorney that has been there before the year 2000, even from 1977. She has been working on the immigration field for 46 years. She started out of nothing, out of just having a little desk, no secretary, a small office, and working day after day, becoming one of the most influent attorneys in the United States in the immigration field. And now we have her here with us talking about immigration and giving you a free advice or free orientation in this show. So let's welcome the attorney Margaret W. Wong. Hi, Ms. Wong. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, and thank you, Mr. Juan Carlos.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. For me, it's an honor to work with such an important attorney along the years, and I admire a lot the way that you have succeeded through all the issues that we have faced for several years. You were already working at the time that Richard Nixon was president. Also, Jimmy Carter was the president. Then Clinton, George Bush, the father. Then Bill Clinton. Then George Walker Bush, the son. Then Barack Obama. Now, after that, Donald Trump, which was one of the toughest in the immigration field. Now Joe Biden, and many years to come. So how have you succeeded through all of these years, all of these governments, different policies, different points of view from different presidents, organizations, judges, heads of immigration? How have you succeeded through all of this among the years?
My advice to young people, the most important, number one, read your daily newspaper. I like to read the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and our local plain dealer. Number one. Number two is really read books. Anything you grab hold of, you read, and read the industry news. In my, of course, being an immigration lawyer, it's a niche practice in the law practice. So we have American Immigration Lawyers Association. We have all these sites that really come up with cutting edge news. But it's not just the news, it's the comments from other awesome immigration lawyers. I follow them. So we all know each other. But I still remember years and years ago when we first go to these conferences, there's 100 people. Now there are thousands and thousands of lawyers there, but I follow them. And it's nice to hear what people are talking about, how the law changed. That's the second thing. The third thing is always try to write a daily journal, a daily thinking process, or anything. Put a notebook next to you when you're sleeping. Put a notebook in your purse when you're walking. Any thoughts, drop it down, because there are only two ways for us foreign people or any person in America or the world to be a leader. You either talk or you write. Most of us foreign people in America, we don't talk that well because English is not our mother tongue. But you can write. All of us can write. If we're not smart, we won't be in America. So I always encourage young people to write down your thoughts. You can be a thought leader by writing or by speaking. And I know I write well because my parents are writers, my grandparents are writers. So pick your battle. If you know you speak better, you speak. If you know you write better, you write. But just become a thought leader or leader in your own world, in your core competence.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Wong. And yeah, it's interesting because I've heard about so many people that have tried the Okay, I'm sorry. Something was going on with my internet, but I'm back. I joined the correct network. Okay, so what I was saying is that so many people try getting into the immigration field, but after a couple disappointments, they quit and they move to personal injury or they move to some other kind of branch of the law. But it's really difficult to stay there, and uh, it takes courage. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your courage, for working on this field and never giving up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have a lot of greetings today. Michael says, good morning, all. Annalie Camacho, hi, good morning.
Thank you.
Pela, hi, madam. Wong and team, thank you so much. And Lamara is asking the first question. Can suspicion of marriage fraud over the past years ago uh, hinder cancel of
Yeah,
removal?
that's a very, very good question. Let me explain. So, suspicion or even marriage fraud itself does not hinder cancellation. So, for example, we represented a medical doctor from the Middle East, and I still remember him. He's the nicest guy. In those years, like that was like per 30 years ago, when he first come to America, medical doctors need to get on a J1 program to be a resident. So this kid went to see lawyers, and in those days, that's what people say. People say, "Oh, until you get married, don't do anything because don't get on a J1 because J1 you need the 2-year foreign residency requirement." So lo and behold, he got married. But during the interview, when the lawyer went with him, he's very honest. He said, "Oh, the only way I can get my work permit, my green card to become a doctor is only to get married. So I'm really marrying only for." He's so funny. It's like by then it's like 25 years ago, 30 years ago. So, but in the meantime, he kept that work permit. He still was subject to J1 waiver, and it was just a horrible experience. Where he became one of the top doctors, and then he didn't need the J1 waiver because he was married. Now and then through the years, he married to a real wife, had 3 kids, and then we put him under the 10-year cancellation, and that's when actually we won the case because marriage fraud, and I couldn't even re-explain to the judge what happened because he outright and said, and also remember in those days, Middle Eastern people, we have to report like after September 11th, all Middle Easterns, Palestinians, including Pakistan, all Muslim people, and they are allowed a FIN number, FIN number. So it was a long case, but the ultimate win, even though it was established marriage fraud. And that's what the judge said. Through the years, have no criminal records, and he was very honest about it. During the reporting to ICE after 9/11, he was outright. He said the only reason why I couldn't get a green card, even though I'm married to an American citizen, because my first marriage was a marriage fraud. So the judge looked at all these equities, and we did a big FOIA for him because his file is very thick, but we won that case. So absolutely marriage fraud on its own, but they could also deny on discretion. Discretion means that I just don't like you. The judge doesn't like you. I don't believe you. The marriage fraud was so convoluted. So it may or may not deny on discretion. good moral. You have to have a 10-year good moral character. That means I could not lie within the past 10 years. So if the marriage fraud happened more than 10 years ago, is a better case. So marriage fraud only disallows another I-130, I-140. It does not disallow 10-year cancellation. Very, very good question.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And yeah, we're sure that if you say it is a good question. So don't forget, if you have any other question, just call the phone number 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question we have here in our show today, and this person says, thank you for your answer. Thank you for listening and for joining us today. The next question says, hi, Mrs. Wong. I am a psychologist. I have a clinic psychology post degree. I would like to know if I qualify for any kind of work visa or self apply for a special visa. I live in Spain.
Okay, so first, you have to make sure whatever license in America, because you are licensed in Spain, you are a Spaniard, and you could come to America on ESTA. So, but once you come to America on a 90-day ESTA, you would not be able to change it to an H-1B. So it depends. Have you published a lot of articles? Have you gotten a lot of honors and awards? Are you paid more than a normal clinical psychologist? You may got an O1 visa, but then in the meantime, you need the license. Like as a lawyer, even though we're foreign lawyers, but in America, you still have to maybe go to LLM, maybe take. You definitely need to retake the bar exam. So in a clinical psychologist, I'm sure if you pass the board exam, you can do an H-1B.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And is there any other visa? I know there was the NIW, and there was another visa that was there. I think it was EB2, EB1.
Right, you can do an EB1, EB1A. You can self-petition as an EB1A. For EB1B, you need a university job or a permanent researcher job in industry. So you can actually do national interest waiver. You're correct, the NIW, and or EB1A to get the green card. You can self-petition, but to self-petition, you need articles published and explain why a labor cert is not as important. And on the job offer, even though you don't need a job offer, we still need something to prove that you will continue in your profession, you won't become a cook or something like that. But yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And I would like to remind everybody that the attorney Margaret W. Wong has been working on this field for over 46 years, and she's traveling through the 7 cities that she has offices at the moment: Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is just one, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. That's the phone number that you need to call to talk to the attorney Margaret W. Wong. Can you get a T visa if part of your paycheck is taken from you from your domestic individual?
That's a hard proof unless maybe not. Let me explain to you what a T visa. T visa is illegal transport. So for example, he was your pimp, you're selling your body and he was your pimp, then of course that's a T visa. Or he brought you to America, now he's using you, for strip poker or something like that. Yes, that's a T. So it depends on the situation, but actually the answer is yes. But you have to be careful. Husband and wife, if the husband take a lot more money from you or the wife take a lot more money from you, and that's normal. So T visa have to have the illegal transport. That means I'm using you to make money, to sell your body, to sell your labor.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. This is one of the hardest cases that I've seen in the immigration field because there's a lot of burden of the proof, and you need to prove that your employer is not fulfilling what he offered or what they offered. But also, some people that bring workers from Latin America, they don't want to either. I think Asian people too, Ms. Wong, that
Yes.
they don't want to pay what they promised that they were going to pay, and they say that they are going to provide accommodation, and then they don't. They just provide a basement with only a couple blankets or just a sleeping bed, a sleeping bag, and you have to sleep on the floor. I mean, we see a lot of that here. So before you file for this kind of visa, just make sure that what they are offering is real and they're not going to mistreat you on the process of getting this work visa. Thank you
And
so much.
also make sure that the domestic partner is not just, maybe he's telling every woman or every man, oh, you're my domestic partner, I'm living exclusively with you. But it turned out you have all these domestic, he's really using you. Then it's a good visa case or something like that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
actually, Ms. Wong, maybe 20 days ago, I had to drive from somewhere here in Atlanta to the airport. I think it was maybe 10 or 15 workers that had temporary work visas. So they come here for around 6 to 8 months. They work here and they were done with the job that they did. It was construction work. So they were going back to Mexico and we drove them with, they had more luggage than people. And it's not the first year that they come. They come every single year for about 6 to 8 months, and they live in one or two apartments, but it's like 15 men living in those apartments. So, uh, I mean, they get a lot of money and they send a lot of money to Mexico, but you just need to make sure that what they are saying, they really do it, because there's a lot of scams and people that do this kind of violations to the T visa
Mhm.
that make you qualify for the T visa. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answer. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Okay, next question is, uh, how long does it take for a church to apply for an R1 visa for a pastor and his family?
Yes, it takes about 7 months. They normally do a site visit. So in the olden days, if you have done like already done an R1, the second and third R1, they normally don't. Now each R1, they send a retired immigration worker to come check out the church. So it takes about 7 months. So if the pastor is overseas waiting at home, tell them after about 7 months, you cable approval to the American embassy in the home country and they'll go and apply for the family. If they're here on a tourist visa, you have to make sure you also do at least one extension because sometimes if the R1 is not approved, you don't want to be stuck naked. So I always look at parallel track. If they are here, do also the extension, but also do a change of status to the R1. So even if the R is not approved or they got request for additional information, at least you still have that tourist visa. But R1 is a good visa and depends. It should be a denominational church. So, for example, we have Roman Catholic, we have Orthodox Christian, we have Presbyterian Christian. It should be the same denominational.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answer. And yeah, it's a very interesting question. If you need more information, just give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984. This next question is interesting as well. The question is, good morning. If I was deported with a final order of removal and I came back to the United States, I have a daughter that has Down syndrome. Can I file asylum since I was deported?
That's a very, very good question. I presume the daughter is born in Mexico and not born in America. So yes, you can. So under Trump, even though it's an executed final order, means that you already have a final order deportation and you left America or were deported. Under Biden, if you have a really, really good withholding claim or asylum claim, you should file it within the 1 year. But if it's more than 10 years later, and you can, if they NTA, if they notice to appear, disappear, notice to appear you, then actually you maybe even do the 10-year cancellation, especially if the child is born in America. So it depends. If your child is born in America, you've been here more than 10 years already, coming back undocumented after the final order of deportation. If you're lucky to get NTA, you may be able to do the 10-year cancellation. But if you just came back illegally after the final order of removal, you can still file asylum or withholding within the 1 year.
Yeah, Ms. Wong. So this person is mentioning that the baby was born in the United States in 2019.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very good case.
Okay, that's good. So thank you so much for this question. And if you need more information, just give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Ms. Wong, a lot of people are asking about the H-1B changes that are happening right now. It's like USCIS reaches fiscal year 2024 H-1B cap. You know what this means?
Yes, H-1B cap is starting on February. My grandchildren are here because I'm working
I
remotely.
love that. I love that.
Oh,
You can
thank
hear
you.
my kid.
Yeah.
You can hear my
Oh,
kid just shouting around. So it's beautiful.
that's right. Your little one is there. We are all remote. So on H-1B, the new one is coming in on February 1st. They just announced, which also Mr. Juan is kind enough to put on our Instagram and Facebook, the 2024 already finished. So now we will, on February 1st, we'll get into lottery of 2025. If you get picked by March or April, you have to file the H-1B by April 1st to April 5th. And if you get selected and got the H-1B, then you have to do get paid on October 1st. So the 2025 is coming in on February of 2024 because New Year in immigration is October 1st of the year before. So 2025 will start on October 1st of 2024.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And this next question is interesting as well. Good morning. I just got my TPS approved. When can I file for advance parole?
You can file now. You can actually, if you want to file parole and TPS together, but since it's already approved, you file the parole with the reason, the form and the filing fee and the reason, and also with the TPS approval, a copy of the TPS approval and the dates of travel now.
Okay, thank you so much. And this person can travel to any country, Ms. Wong?
Yes. If it's TPS, I would not go back home. I mean, if I were them, I would not go back home.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so this person is asking, hi, my asylum was terminated, but I am filing for U visa or waiting to file for U visa, but I have a court coming on February 2024. An attorney said that I need to wait until my asylum is terminated so I can file for the U visa, or I have to wait until I go to court and then file for the U visa. What would you recommend?
U visa is filed with USCIS. The court is controlled by ICE, and the judges are controlled by DOJ, Department of Justice. They're separate from each other. It's just like filing from the R1 from Pastor as a CIS. And then if you get the 2-year approval and then you file the 360, so it's the same thing. Do not wait for the court to file for U visa because you only have 6 months after the signature on the 918B to file for the U visa. If I were you, I'll file for the U visa as soon as possible. Once you get the receipt, or even before you get the receipt, I will file for termination or dismissal, which I think your case is terminated. Or if not, you can ask for termination. Then if they approve that, you don't even have to go to court next time. Also, another advice I'd like to give you, and that's what I tell our lawyers, is that make sure the work permit, because anything approved after October 1st of 2023 is for 5 years. So make sure your work permit is still good. You don't want to dismiss yet until you got the work permit. Because once you dismiss, you won't be able to get the extension because the U visa work permit won't come in until 1.5 to 2 years. So
Okay.
number one, check your work permit. Number two, file it now. Do not wait, and make sure you file within 6 months of the signature. Number three, when you file, make sure you give them the medical report, the police record. Number four, once you file, or even before you file, you show the court, or you write a motion to the judge, or at least do a joint motion with the AC to tell them you're filing for the U. So are they willing to postpone the court or admin close the court to allow you to file? They normally will say yes, and depends on where you are.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Okay, yeah, she's beautiful. She's so beautiful. Maybe I'm gonna ask someone to bring me my kid, and I'll show him at the end of the show, so that we can wish people a happy New Year. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And last question.
Grandchildren. That's very different, Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this question says, if my receipt doesn't show on USCIS website, that means my case is not there anymore?
That's not true. U visa would not be on the CIS receipt. U visa, T visa, visa victim of crime, also WAWA would not be on USCIS.
Okay.
Yeah, certain things, because we are victims. Yeah, you don't go on USCIS.
Okay. And this person says, Happy New Year, Margaret.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Okay. And the last question for today, Ms. Wong, what are we expecting for 2024?
I think everything will be good. I hope President Biden wins, because then I really think the 5-year work permit will keep getting into 5 years. If we let the Republican Party win, they'll change it back to 2 years. And also, Biden already proposed extension of U visa from 10,000 to 30,000. So U visa may go faster. Things would be good. I really think it's not as bad as the public make it, except the southern border entry. But a lot of those people, if they came in, you make sure you file asylum within a year. You make sure within 60 days you report to ICE and do all the legal things. Do not get on welfare. Do not file, and hurt someone. No DUI. And also, if you get parole, make sure you get the work permit for the 1 or 2 years on the CBP one. I really think immigration is getting better and will continue to do so if our president wins.
Okay. Last two questions, Ms. Wong. Annalie Camacho is saying, Hi, Mrs. Wong. Is there any way that my parents can get citizenship through my sister that is born here in the United States? They don't have a legal entry.
Okay, the only way to do it, if your parents have parents, that means if you have grandparents and give them a waiver, then they can get a green card, because they'll have to go out of the country for about 2 weeks after 3.5 to 5 years pending. That's another thing, that if Biden wins, Biden should be able to cut down the 601A processing time. 601A processing time now is running about 4.5, 5 years. And by the time you do another it's just a long process. But I really think with Biden wins, cases like this, maybe we'll have new relief.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And well, I have a last question before I do something special right now. Do I need the police report to file a T visa, and how long does it take to file?
You don't need a police report to file a T visa because a lot of people they're so scared they never report. Um, T visa is something that you do need a good lawyer, I think, because it's sort of hard to prove, but it's not that hard to prove. There was a time that the federal government under Obama gave every a lot of federal grants. So, for example, I work as a telephone taker for a massage parlor, all right, and normally the telephone person is not on premise. We have quite a few cases like that. So people would ask them, why do you want to get into massage parlor work? Because they pay more money. Let's face it. So and then those are T visa because I didn't know I'm forced to, and they held on to my passports. And then all I do is take phone calls, and then there's a police ring, and police pick up everybody. Oh, I hear a baby. So those are very good. It takes only 2 or 3 months to get a T visa ready. A T visa also takes 9 months for approval, which is very good.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that. I
So,
came to your mommy and daddy's wedding. I watched your mommy I think I'm one of the first 5 people who knew your mom's stomach. Have you, little one? And
yeah.
your mommy and daddy is so beautiful. And look at you.
Thank you.
You're so. Wow, remember
Thank you so
when she
much,
was
Ms. Wong.
pregnant, how happy you were?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we were really happy. And look at this baby now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Ms. Wong, thank you so much for this show. And it's a beautiful, the most important thing we have in the world is our family. So thank you for
That's right.
taking this time from your holidays to do this show and to teach people how to do it and how to get through with immigration. So happy New Year for you, Ms. Wong. Happy New Year for everybody that has joined us today. And I'll see you next year. Best wishes
Thank
for
you.
you and for all the family and for all the law firm as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong.
Say hello to
We
your
love
family.
you and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for everybody that has joined us today. Don't forget the phone number of the offices of Margaret W. Wong is 216-279-3984. You can just call, give them a call, and they will be happy to take care of your immigration needs. 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Say bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Say bye. Okay. Okay. See you next
Bye.
year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
See you
Thank you
next
so much
year.
as well.
Bye bye.